Welcome back to AOPB Roundup. I'm Ryan here with your daily roundup, and we're looking at the games from June 8th here on June 9th today. We'll start the party in Charleston, where the Power welcomed the Legends, fresh off getting swept by the Legends over the weekend in Lexington. West Virginia was led by Yovan Gonzalez's grand slam in the bottom of the sixth. They took the lead 5-3, and they would not look back. Lexington did lead off the top of the ninth with a walk, a double, and a three-run homer by DJ Peterson. Hunter Cervenka would, though, lock it in against the heart of the Lexington order. 4-5-6, Keon Barnum, Courtney Hawkins, and Jay Romansky all get shown the bench. Have a day. West Virginia holds on to win it 8-7. 7 of those runs came with 2 outs. Mike Hochschild, he takes the loss. It was going well, 1 earned in 5 2/3 up until that Yovan Gonzalez grand slam. That would be his last batter of the game. One of those situations where it's like mound visit, grand slam, mound visit, pitching change. And you know they just wish that pitching change happened at the first mound visit. So close, but still so far. Ark Sakula, he gets the win. He moves to 2-1. He went 6 innings, 3 earned, 7 strikeouts, and a walk. Dominic Betancourt homers for West Virginia. Courtney Hawkins hits a solo shot for Lexington. He's getting hot, by the way. Something to watch for. But the AOPB Roundup game ball, of course, has to go to the man with the Denny's Grand Slam, even though everything at Denny's tastes kind of like onions and syrup, in my opinion. Bruh, I don't get it. But Yovan Gonzalez takes it. It's his second game ball of the season. He went 2 for 4 on the whole, but we're talking about that grand slam he got. West Virginia's back to 500, and Lexington falls to 7-4, snapping a 6-game win streak. Up on Long Island, the Ducks continue searching for their offensive consistency. They fall to the Rockers 7-2. Cesar Trejo led things off for the Rockers with a first pitch home run to start the game. Rockers would continue to tack on. Steve Lombardozzi brought home Edwin Arroyo with a single later in the first. A Mike Bolsinger wild pitch made it 3-0 in the third. Cesar Trejo's came back with another solo home run in the fourth. 2 more runs in the fifth, and a James McGowan homer in the sixth would make it a 7-0 lead. Long Island would push across 2 late runs, including a Ray Fuentes homer, but it was just not enough. Mike Bolsinger, Long Island projected him as an ace. We all projected him as an ace. He's now 0-3 with a 9.0 ERA after allowing 4 earned in 4 innings. 4 walks, 5 Ks, not what you're looking for from Bolsinger to get things rolling. When it came to the guys on the mound, Mitch Adkins stole the show with a tremendous effort, moving to 1-0 for High Point, 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned, all with only 3 Ks, letting him hit the ball in play, letting him field it behind it. That's the way to do it. Preston Gainey would finish things off in the ninth, 1 hit, 2 Ks. He looks great, bouncing back from multiple years off rehabbing Tommy Johns. High Point moves to 7-3 and takes sole possession of first in the South Division. Long Island falls back to 500. Despite that strong outing from Atkins, the game ball goes to Cesar Trejo. His first of the season, 2 for 4 with the 2 home runs. What else can you ask for? First pitch of the game. Boy, terrible way to start things. Elsewhere, York beat up on the Blue Crabs 12-2 to open their series in Southern Maryland. Both teams came in with 3-7 records. Those were tied for the worst in the Atlantic League. York jumped on Sam Burton for 3 runs in the first. Blue Crabs responded with 2 runs of their own on Josh McAdams' home run, the bottom half of the inning. Sam Burton would settle in, but have to be removed with a thumb injury in the 4th inning after allowing a home run to Carlos Castro and letting a couple guys get on base. Jake Welch looked tremendous for York after that first inning where he allowed the 2-run homer. Went 4 scoreless after that. The York bullpen finished the night with 3 innings, allowing no runs and 1 hit. Meanwhile, the Blue Crabs relievers would allow 7 runs over 5 2/3 of an inning, though only 2 of those were earned because of some very costly errors from Josh McAdams. Carlos Franco would also homer for the Revs during the middle innings, and he would get the game ball going 2 for 4 with 3 runs scored, 4 ribbies, and a walk, currently holding a 1.156 OPS. Carlos Franco showing up and getting it done. York moves to 4-7. The Blue Crabs fall to 3-8, and if you're a Blue Crabs fan, look, it's no time for panic, but you want to start getting some wins. You got to at least get one of the next 2. Stay competitive here. What we learned in the past couple years, seasons, I guess it is, 2019, 2018, is you can bounce back. Slow starts are nothing in the Atlantic League. You can bounce back quick. York knows better than anybody. But you'd like to see them get a win, start heating up, start getting a rhythm. But 3-8 to start the year, not ideal, not the way you dream it up, but they got plenty of time. Now, that brings us to Lancaster and Gastonia. If you missed it, Gastonia's up 12-2 midway through the 3rd inning. Game was all of a sudden 12-8 by the end of that 3rd inning, more than 2 hours into the game already. Gastonia would end up winning this thing 16-14. The game took 5 hours and 4 minutes, which from all I've been able to find, is a record for the longest 9-inning professional baseball game or college baseball game. 35 walks across the board, 20 by Lancaster pitching, 15 surrendered by Gastonia. What are my thoughts on all this? So let me catch you up here. I'm going to try to keep this quick because there's been a lot of walk talk going on. Now, initially, looking at this epidemic of walks, which is high across the league, I've already talked about it a little bit. There were a few ideas of what it could be. Is it the year off coming into this year? It turns out it's a little bit that, because not only do you have guys trying to get back into a rhythm for the first time in a long time, but MLB organizations are losing guys left and right from injury, or just they're not showing up as in the state that they wanted them to and as good as they wanted them to. So they're just pulling top talent out, and it's making it difficult for some of these indie leagues to get by. The other side of it too is that, is it an Atlantic League rules issue? Because the Atlantic League, they just changed the dimensions of the strike zone according to the MLB rule testing going on. They're using the robo zone. They're using a slightly different version of the robo zone. So what could it be? That was my initial guess, was that. My second guess, at least, was that it was mostly this changing strike zone. No more low strikes getting called. It's forcing guys to throw the ball up in the zone. It's getting hit. So you're either walking guys or you're getting hit. What's your choice? Now, reviewing it all more this morning, I could really sit down with it. I was very convinced that this was the strike zone is bad. There are multiple issues that we need to get figured out here, but the strike zone is bad, and it's the main cause of this. But what I found this morning is, now this is where we get into theory here. I think Lancaster's TrackMan might not be calibrated correctly. And I don't think they're the only ones. Looking at the data, the average, there's like 5.5 walks allowed by a pitching staff in a game right now, which is elevated for sure and needs to come down, but it is small sample size, and the strike zone is difficult. It's smaller than it was, so walks are to be expected. However, for every 9 innings pitched by a pitching staff, so like half the game, so like 9 bottoms of the inning or 9 tops of the inning, there are 9.99 walks being allowed at Clipper Magazine Stadium. That is so far above the average. It is so far outside the realm of what is, easily explained by just, it's small sample. Something isn't right there. And I would also say Gastonia seems to have something going on with theirs too. They have the second most walk. And also, I've seen on the strike zone in the game report that there are obvious strikes that are not being called. I have not necessarily seen as much of that with Lancaster, and it makes me wonder what could exactly be the issue there. And that's where I'm not as in depth with TrackMan or the understanding of how it works or how it gets calibrated to give some good answer on that one. But I would say a large bit of this issue is coming from just a couple stadiums, not just a couple teams. But this is also made worse by the fact that of all the teams in the league, Lancaster and Gastonia probably have the most suspect pitching staff. So everything is being just ratcheted up, and it's coming to kind of a head here as these two teams meet at Clipper Magazine Stadium, which has generated just a ton of walks to this point in time. So wrapping this game up, 497 pitches were thrown over those 5 hours and 4 minutes, 262 for strikes. That's only 52.7%. That's not going to get it done. That's not a good product on the field. I'm not going to beat this to death anymore. If you want to see more of my thoughts on it, you can check out ALPB Roundup on Twitter. I got lots of rants from last night and stats and fun facts and not so fun facts. Beyond that, and until next time, I'm Ryan from ALPB Roundup. I will see you with another daily roundup tomorrow. Enjoy the games tonight. Let's see if we can get through it without any TrackMan related controversy.